Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts with breaking news.
Breaking this morning, one person is in the hospital after an overnight crash in the metro. It happened at 105th and J just after 11 o'clock last night. Authorities say the victim suffered serious injuries after getting hit by a car. Stay with First Alert 6 as we work to learn more information about what happened last night.
In the meantime, good to have you with us as we begin this Friday morning. I'm Erin Hartley.
I'm Cerise Cole. There's Jared Lansford, Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord. It's the last day of February. Also, the last day of 60s in the forecast for a good while. I didn't see any in the stretch.
It gets cold. The 40s and 50s for the most part. It isn't bad.
No, not at all.
Yeah, this is the last time we're going to be this warm. Unfortunately, it's kind of annoying to go along with it. It's going to be tough to really enjoy it outside a ton because of the wind that's going to be with us. So you get beautiful sunrise here as we get going. A lot of color in the sky. We're at 43. Feels like temperature of 43 as well. So the wind is pretty light to start anyway. Upper 30s, lower 40s out there. 38 in Underwood, 39 in Council Bluffs. A couple of the cooler spots. You can see a little cooler yet on the Iowa side, down in the mid 30s. Trying to get near freezing in Red Oak, a little colder there. But the wind is very light, 5 to 15 miles per hour. For now. Once we get to about 9 o'clock or so, the atmosphere starts to mix up a little bit like it always does in the morning hours. That's when we'll get some of the stronger winds rolling in. So 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts approaching 9 o'clock. By noon, we're up near 40 miles per hour with some of those wind gusts and could even be hitting 45 in some spots. So not really damaging, but it's pesky, it's annoying. And it increases the fire danger because there's no snow cover out there. Any fires that get going, they're going to be driven to the southeast very quickly. So open burning, any accidental fires are going to be a problem today. By 4 o'clock, we're in the upper 30s with those wind gusts. By 7, they're still gusting to near 30 miles per hour. And overnight tonight, still noteworthy enough that I think they'll persist, at least trying to get up over 20 miles per hour at times through the overnight hours. So red flag warnings in place for not only our area, but South Dakota, through Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, and Missouri thrown in the mix as well, just due to the dry conditions and the wind combo. So as we warm through the 40s very quickly, from 9 to noon, those are 3 very crucial hours for warming this time of year, and we're going to jump into the lower 60s. This will likely be our high sometime in the lunch hour, and then we kind of plateau or just slowly drop back the rest of the afternoon. It's not going to be just a crashing cold front or anything like that. So a pretty enjoyable afternoon temperature-wise, but the wind kind of takes away some of the enjoyment, I guess. It's going to be annoying and pretty strong all afternoon long. And by 7 o'clock, we fall back to near 50 degrees. And it should be a pretty quiet night as we settle back in through the 30s and even some 20s to start off tomorrow morning. A colder start to Saturday, the way things are looking. And you can see only a high of 40 on the way for Saturday, back up to 53 on Sunday as that south wind picks up. So as far as the weekend goes, today's going to be the warmest, but nothing incredibly cold on the way.
I mean, we'll take it. That's fine after the last couple
Without
of weeks.
a doubt.
All right. In the meantime, more chances for some rain next week.
Yeah, and we could use a little bit. That snow that we had out there didn't really amount to much moisture because it was so dry and powdery. So Sunday night brings us some rain potential. After the sun sets, those are really spotty light showers. Probably not going to get much help out of that one. You'll be lucky to get rain. You can see what it looks like. Just these little specks on the map here towards 9, 10 o'clock. Better rain probably stays down in Kansas with that round. And then by early in the morning on Monday, there it is. It's out of there. It's gone. Not going to lead to much. Tuesday, though, the morning hours pretty dry. The next batch of rain rolls in, and there could be a little thunder in this, especially south of I-80 during the afternoon and evening on Tuesday. And then the question is, can the cold air catch up to it before it moves out to change it over to some snow? That's what we've been watching all week in regards to this system that's consistently been there. And there you go. A little bit of snow now, trying to show up more on the Iowa side or southeast of Omaha overnight. That's 2 a.m. Wednesday, and you can see it's already moving out. So I don't think it's going to cause much of an issue for the Wednesday morning commute the way it looks now. If it drops a little stripe of some snow, models seem to suggest just a little bit on the Iowa side. It's a wet, slushy snow, likely goes away pretty quickly because we will warm again on Wednesday. So watch that through the weekend. Bo will be giving you updates on that through the weekend heading into Tuesday. And it does get windy on Wednesday, so a little bit of a cold day there. But then you can see we rebound pretty well after that, 40s and 50s. So no bitter cold, and just a March kind of showing what it can do.
Yeah.
Get a little rain, get a little snow. We'll see if it can cause some problems.
In like a little baby lion cub.
There you go. Just like, exactly.
A lion cub. Okay.
Simba.
All right, let's get a check of traffic now. You have an update on that crash near 90th and L.
Yeah, it's showing some delays right near that intersection.
Okay.
So it looks like that's where you need to watch for some issues. This is a crash that happened about 15-20 minutes ago. So here's the latest on what we're seeing as we are making our way out and about into that area. And it's showing some occasional delays. You can see right now looks like it's a little bit better than it was before, but continue to watch as you're driving through this area for any kind of emergency crews that may be working that scene of that crash. So that's been our only crash that has come in so far this morning. We are looking at some delays that have been kind of consistently showing up as you're heading along Highway 370 right near 36. You can see especially westbound is showing some of those delays in place. And then a couple of other things that I just want you to have on your radar this morning. If you're traveling in Council Bluffs, we've got the ramp closing at 8:30, so we're just a little over an hour away from this happening from westbound I-80 to go to Madison. This happened earlier this week as well. It lasted for a couple of hours, so you won't be able to take that exit. Plan accordingly for that. And as we look at the wide view of the map, you can see it's pretty smooth going of it on many of our roads. I'm going to watch here over the next hour to hour and a half. A lot of our eastbound roads, as we go through that next hour, yesterday, the day before, really became clogged with the travel because of sun glare. Visibility really took a hit, and you started to see some big delays that started to show up on Dodge, I-80, Highway 370 as you were trying to drive right into that sunshine. So we'll watch that this morning and see how big of a problem that ends up becoming. I do think we'll start to get some of those slowdowns here over the next 45 minutes to an hour.
All right. Jared, thank you. Well, an emotional scene in Omaha yesterday as Nebraska State Patrol Trooper Kyle McAcy was laid to rest. A funeral procession took his body to the Liberty First Credit Union Arena in Ralston. It's where first responders and members of the public gathered to pay their respects. The Nebraska State Patrol releasing the audio from the final radio call to remember McAcy for his 10 years of service.
Attention all units. Trooper Kyle McAcy, badge number 302, has entered into final rest.
He was killed last Monday when he was hit by a snowplow while responding to a crash on I-80. State Patrol tells us the troopers from more than 20 states showed up to pay respects. Speakers at the service included his siblings who provided an emotional tribute to him with one final wish.
And to Kyle. I got it. Get some rest. You've earned it. We'll take it from here.
Governor Jim Pillen thanked McAcy's family for sharing him with the people of Nebraska. Pillen said he was incredibly proud of McAcy for how he represented the state. Now to the safety desk with Maria Cade. Maria, you have some really good news for tea lovers.
Yeah, some things that could be good for your health, aside from, maybe using the caffeine to maybe stay awake a little bit, also calm yourself sometimes. There's a new study that's showing that brewing tea can actually help to purify water, oddly enough. So the researchers started by heating up solutions that they made from water and different concentrations of various metals, including lead. And then they added the tea leaves or tea bags to the cup. They found the tea leaves were able to remove the heavy metals through a different process called adsorption. Now the heavy metal particles stuck to the surface of those tea leaves. Then they remove the metals by taking out the tea bag or tea leaves. So the researchers say more metal was removed the longer that they let these soak in, but they do want to let you all know that brewing tea shouldn't really be a substitute for cleaning water with a filter. Of course, that is the best way. Researchers say a simple carbon filter can help lower those levels of lead in the drinking water.
I love some good peppermint tea. I love some green tea.
Yes.
What do you like?
I like peppermint too.
So good. All right, Maria, moving on. You have some good tips from experts on those who deal with knee knee pain.
I know, something that so many people across the world experience. Millions of Americans live with knee pain every single day, and it can really limit your mobility and impact your quality of life too. But there are some things that you can do to protect yourself. So researchers estimate about 25% of all adults frequently have pain around their knees, and in the U.S. about 790,000 total knee replacements are performed every single year. And as people get older, experts expect that number to get a little bit higher too. A lot of times they say this is because of osteoarthritis in people's knees. It's a degenerative joint disease that causes tissues to break down as you age. So research shows that you can slow the progression of this pain, sometimes even avoid it altogether by strengthening your leg muscles.
Simply put, people who had more leg muscle mass had a lower risk of knee osteoarthritis. Now, that increased muscle mass can sort of protect the knee, taking some of the strain off the joints.
Now, experts say strength training is the best way to bulk up the muscles in your legs. The CDC also recommends that older adults get 150 minutes of moderate intense physical activity every week, and they say 2 of those should involve that muscle training.
Indeed. All right, Maria, thank you. We're back after this.
Welcome back, everybody. Sure hope your morning's getting off to a good start. A pretty mild start here in the metro, around 40 degrees. Lots of sunshine to go with. It's going to be a pretty good day. It's also the last day of February here in the Weather Center with Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord. We're in February with a bang.
Yeah, this last week has been phenomenal.
Been wonderful.
Love to have that. It'd be nice if we keep it going into March. That's not going to be the case. Okay. 63 is where we're going for a high today on the final day of the month. You'll notice 40 on Saturday and then 50s to start off next week. So still not horrible. Average highs in the 40s this time of year. This will probably be the last time we hit 60 for a little while. You'll notice the temperatures 30s and 40s right now. So a good base to start with as we try to warm into the 60s and get another 20 degrees later on today. Frankly, we'll actually warm that full 20 degrees this morning and then be parked in the lower 60s this afternoon. Wind's pretty light, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Those will pick up in gusts, though. That's easily the story today. We get 60s, but we get this northwest wind that after 9 o'clock will be trying to get up near 40 miles per hour with some of the gusts. We talked about this increasing the fire danger, and you can see still persistent all afternoon into the evening. Any open burning, any fires today could easily get out of control. Just a horrible idea. Put it off for a day if there's something you need to do, or just be careful you don't accidentally start one today with any outdoor work. By 10 o'clock, we're still gusting near 30. And then later on at night, pretty quiet one, but you'll notice red flag warnings, not just for our area. It's going to be a problem all over. Have wildfires going on in the Panhandle. You have one out around Broken Bow in Custer County. And there could be more start up today pretty easily because of the wind. Now, the one thing that's going to try to bring a little bit of moisture to our area would be this little system that's right here, just spinning on the coast of California. It's going to try to work its way east, and that'll be our next rain chance that really won't arrive until sometime late Sunday. So low 60s for a high today. Will fall back 30s and 20s for lows tonight. Most of us will settle into the 20s and then go to 40 for the high on Sunday. There's that small chance of a shower Sunday night. It'd be after the sun sets. Actually going to have quite a bit of sunshine. Clouds will gradually increase, and then it'd be a few spotty showers trying to pop up. Notice after the sun sets, developing in our area and then moving off towards the east. So likely not a huge deal. The coverage won't be great. The amounts won't be that great. And then overall, it looks like a lot of 50s, like I mentioned. You see upper 50s, but there's quite a few clouds to start next week and likely some rain there Tuesday afternoon and evening.
They talk about that rain. In the 10-day, is there any rain potential? I mean, we'll take it.
Yeah, and the possibility of some more by the end of the week, maybe a little wet snow mixed in as well. We'll watch the Tuesday night. It just doesn't look all that ominous with widespread blanket of snow that causes problems for Monday morning. But we'll continue to watch it to see if that changes, if the path changes. It could wrap in a little more cold air and try to give us more snow. So a first alert to that for Tuesday night. Another system trying to show up on Friday. We'll see what it can do. Don't forget daylight saving time this upcoming weekend. My twice a year rant as to why that's the weather guy's responsibility to remind you.
It just is.
We put it on the 10-day anyway, okay? And that's how it goes.
You're first alerting us.
There you
That's
go.
all it is.
How about that?
Speaking of first alert, you have a traffic alert this morning.
Yeah, if you're someone who uses 72nd to go northbound, you maybe want a different route this morning. We have some police activity that's going on. This is right near Spring. So for reference, that's about halfway between Grover and Center. Unclear as to exactly what is going on here, but you could see that we are seeing some pretty heavy delays showing up in both directions on 72nd as this situation evolves. So maybe use 84th, use 60th. Of course, if you were coming in from the south, you likely weren't coming in on 72nd anyway with that bridge closure south of I-80. But if maybe you were exiting off of I-80, you might want to go one further to avoid that situation that's unfolding there near 72nd and Spring. You could see very faintly in the distance, camera kind of got moved on me here, but you could see some flashing lights there as you were looking north down 72nd. So avoid that area, give them some room to work on what's happening there. I've also been watching near 90th and L, where we had a crash that happened. Still some delays as you're heading southbound toward that intersection. Elsewhere on L, it seems like we're moving along in a lot better shape than we were earlier. Still watching some delays on Highway 370 as well, right around 36. That's been a pretty consistent feature that we've been seeing here over the last 20 minutes or so. We zoom things out elsewhere. We're off to a good start. Keep an eye out for that sun glare. That's something that could be a factor. Real quick, I do want to squeeze this in for any of you who may be traveling near Columbus. Just off to the west of there, actually have Highway 30 shut down due to some flooding with some ice jams that have happened along the Loop River. So you're looking at between Columbus and Silver Creek, Highway 30 being closed. You'll need to kind of work your way around on Highway 22 and Highway 39 if you're going to be traveling in that area here today and maybe into our Saturday, depending on how long that flooding lasts.
Appreciate the heads up, Jared. Thank you. Well, Governor Jim Pillen declares a state of emergency as crews work to battle wildfires across the state.
The declaration is for Custer and Dawes County. The Nebraska National Guard have been deployed to help out. Officials say the fires broke near Broken Bow, sparked earlier this week. As of this morning, one blaze is 75% contained, the other is 55%. The fires have burned more than 6,000 acres. Well, a little bit closer to home, we're monitoring the potential for fire danger today. The burn ban for Douglas County has been issued. Anybody with an active permit and is currently burning is asked to use caution and make sure that fire is completely out before you leave. Happening today, it is the last day to file for those planning on running in this year's spring's Omaha mayoral election.
That's right. The number of candidates have already filed or are planning to file. They include Douglas County Treasurer John Ewing, Dr. T.L. Brewer, community activist Jasmine Harris, former state senator Mike McDonald, and current mayor Gene Stothard. The election is May 13th. Also happening today, a memorial service for longtime Nebraska broadcaster Greg Sharp. It's at St. Mark's United Methodist Church in Lincoln. It starts at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Sharp passed away less than a year after being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. He was 61 years old.
Well, coming up, we all know giant pandas love their bamboo.
But scientists haven't known why until now. We're going to tell you their new discoveries when we come back.
Scientists in China think they've solved one of the biggest mysteries about pandas. They've had similar digestive systems to other kinds of bears, but pandas are almost entirely vegetarian and they mostly eat bamboo.
Very healthy. Until now, no one has known why, but researchers say the answer lies in the bamboo itself. As pandas eat the plant, they absorb genetic material from it called microRNA. Now, that microRNA starts to influence the pandas, specifically their senses of smell and taste. Experts say it just makes it easier for them to find the freshest and most nutritious bamboo. It also affects the growth and behavior of those pandas. It takes a while to have a meal, though. They have to spend up to 16 hours a day eating to keep up with their carnivorous bear cousins. It's very rare, but sometimes pandas do eat small rodents or other meat, but mostly you just see them eating that bamboo.
Yeah. I never thought about that.
I hadn't either.
I know. We just were like going along with it.
They eat bamboo, but yeah, all the other bears don't.
They're very healthy.
I guess, yeah, it's the...
Well, I mean, I'm sure it has something to do with the environment that they're in.
Likely,
too.
also,
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I eat 16 hours a day.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Sometimes I want to eat 16 hours a day. Okay, we're going to go now. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend. We're going to get ready for our update in the Today Show. You can watch it here on streaming or over the air.
Have a great Friday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Friday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
I'm Erin Hartley. An update to a crash on this Friday morning. We'll get a check-in with Jarrett Lansford.
Yeah, I'll have the latest on that crash in just a moment, that near 90th and L. But first I want to bring you this area near 72nd near Spring. You're seeing some sizable delays that are showing up with police activity in this area. Unclear of the nature of exactly what is going on, but you'll want to avoid this area. I could show you some of the backups that are in place as people try to exit from I-80 to go northbound. So use 60th, use 84th as your alternate routes. Also a possible fire near 72nd and Harrison. Watch for emergency crews in that area. And then we do have that crash. This is 90th and L. Still some delays that are happening as you're heading southbound toward that intersection. Rusty.
Thanks, Jarrett. Temperatures right around 40 degrees. Pretty mild start out the door, and that sets the stage for what's going to be the last day in the 60s for a little while anyway, as we round out the month. Final day of February here with winds pretty light right now. And the key to that is right now. 5 to 15 miles per hour for most of us. Those gusts will go 35 to 40 pretty easily later this morning and then all the way through the afternoon into the evening. So 35 to 40, isolated up to 45 would not surprise me. but we're still going to warm. 63 for the high. We'll get there by noon and then kind of stay steady into the afternoon before falling off by 6 o'clock down into the 50s. So a blustery one, a pretty mild one. It'd be a great day if it wasn't for the wind. How many times have we say that around here? But red flag warnings in place because of the high fire danger with the wind and the dry conditions out there. That snow melted off pretty quickly, so things have dried back out once again. Aaron?
Some breaking news we're following this morning. One person is in the hospital after an overnight crash. This all happened near 105th and J just after 11 o'clock. Authorities say the victim did suffer serious injuries after they were hit by a car.
Well, it is 7:28. We are back with another update for you in about 25 minutes. We'll see you then.